All right, let's talk about a box or cube, right? Could be a cube. It's a box-shaped UAP over Bangkok. It's passenger footage. World News X posted this, and I pulled it down. I started taking a look at it, and it's really interesting because not as pronounced, but it does have the corners like the Class 10 UAP. I'm not saying it is a Class 10 UAP, but certainly it has similarities or it has characteristics of it, right? We're not seeing the plasma or whatever it is, but maybe this is flying in a different modality. I don't know. But honestly, this isn't the most interesting aspect of this whole thing. In fact, there's something else that's in this video that is incredibly anomalous. And let's go right to that. Okay, so here it is zoomed out, basically for us to see. It says zoomed in, but that means it's zoomed in on the actual cube. And if we let it play, if you look down here to the bottom left, look at this guy. There's two of them. There's a cube, or there's a like an orb, something that looks like an orb, and then there's this object. And it is really strange. Look how it flies. All right, let's frame by frame through it. All right, right now the box is up here on the top right, or the cube, and it's just flying along, and the camera is kind of slowly tracking to the left alongside of it. This enters the frame. It's moving towards the cube. Okay? Then it stops moving towards the cube. And now it's kind of locked into the background. So that means it's probably not in a hover, but obviously it's changed its speed and direction. Okay, so now it's locked into the background. Maybe it is in a hover. And you see it's still locked in, and then it decides it's time to go. And the speed that it accelerates out of there is kind of fast, right? And the orb pops out, disappears, and then comes back over here, almost like it's starting to come towards where this guy's going. But what is this, right? This is very clearly, there's no wings, there's no exhaust that we could see. I mean, you know, it's not a thermal camera, so maybe we wouldn't see it. But there's no exhaust, no wings. A balloon is absolutely not going to fly like this, so this cannot be a balloon. This is under its own power. Initially, it starts flying towards the cube. It stops and hovers, and then zips out of there. So I almost wonder if it notices that the plane is there or whatever. I don't know. All I can really say is that is something that is extremely unique. I can't assign it to any class of UAP because it doesn't really look like anything to me. Right? It's this. And what that is, I don't know. But nevertheless, it is moving under its own power. It is not a balloon. And here it is on video. So there we go. We could have another Class 10 and something else is in the screen. And this is one of the things that I look for, which is interesting in this piece of it, is that I look for secondary objects, and I call them like looking for a signal in the video, where there's always, when it's a real UAP, for the most part, everything I've seen from confirmed videos from Skywatcher that has radar data and all that kind of stuff, there are always secondary objects in the scene that's been filmed. Usually it's a Tic Tac that kind of flies in and bounces around and moves off, or a bunch of orbs that are just in the area. But there's always something else, and like I said, I call that the signal that tells me that there's something to the video that's being recorded there. There's actually something to this object. So here we go. Here's a I'll just say it could be a Class 10 cube like we're talking about, and it's got another object that flies in and then flies away. And that's all I got for this one, but super interesting.